Hey everyone, this is Brainwaves, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how I use Ableton racks to make sounds and sound variations faster and easier for me, and how it helps my workflow on current and future projects. I'll take this sound that I made as an example. Just to show you a little bit of what's going on in here, this is just a operator patch that I created. It's just a sine wave being modulated by this other oscillator, and it has some post-processing to make it sound like a web. This is Shaper, the Max for Life device, which is basically giving the movement for the filter. If you see, this is being mapped to the frequency knob. If I mute this, then this is gonna stop modulating or moving. So Shaper is what is giving the movement to the auto filter. Without auto filter, it's just like a sustain bass. Then it has some post-processing like chorus, camel crusher, and erosion. So without that, it sounds like this. And then with chorus, camel crusher, and erosion. At the end, it has a little bit of like corrective EQ, and that's about it. So how do I take advantage of Ableton racks and to make sound variations and basically speed up my workflow when doing sound design? Well, first things first, you gotta group all of this together. Control G, open the macros in here. And the first thing that I do is just I start mapping knobs to the macros, okay? So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna start like mapping stuff out that I think would be helpful, and we'll go from there. All right, so I'm gonna map. Let's close this a little bit. I also close the chorus and camel crusher because I don't want to map anything on that. So just keeping the things unfolded on the things that I want to map. Let's start with frequency here, resonance of the filter, pitch envelope could be cool. The resonance of the auto filter could be cool. The rate of the shaper and the depth also could work. And let's do amount and frequency of the erosion. Alright, so now I have a bunch of things mapped in here. You can obviously rename this, organize it. For the time's sake, I'm not gonna do it right now. But basically, now that you have all these things mapped in here, what I would do to make sound variations is I would open the snapshots and I'll click on new. I want to save this one as the default preset. Basically, snapshots are like Ableton presets into the instrument racks. So every variation would be like a preset. That's pretty helpful, and that's something that Ableton 11 implemented, which is really awesome. So this is our default preset, let's say. So I'm gonna click rename default, right? Now there is some ways that you can go about what we are doing. For me, the funniest and the most entertaining and less effort would be just to click this randomization button in here, and basically this what it's going to do is just randomize the knobs and put them in random positions basically, and that will give you some variation of the sound. May sound good, may not, but you can basically start hitting the random button a bunch of times and you will get nice sounds. Sometimes it depends on what you have mapped in the macros. So let's just do that. Let's just hit random and let's see what sounds we come up with. Hit random. Now you can see that macros change. Things changing here, obviously. And obviously you can mess up with this manually. So now, for example, this is cool, but I think definitely like this could go faster and less resonance maybe. Right, let's try another one. Another one. One thing that is important to point out is that in this instances that I've been pressing the random button, the resonance has been really up, and we can kind of control that. Even though it's like randomization, we can control like the range of the randomization. So what I mean by that is that you can go in here, you open the browser button, you click map, and then you can see that we have like some ranges for the macros. So right now I don't want the resonance to go all the way up to 125%. I maybe want to keep it at like I don't know, like 45 maximum, let's say. So now you will see that every time that we press randomization, or every time that you manually move the resonance knob, it's not gonna go any higher than 45%, which is really helpful. So let's see that in action. You can see that I'm gonna move this manually and it's not gonna go over 45. So we're basically controlling a little bit of the parameters for the randomization, which is pretty cool. Let me save this one as an example. So let me just hit new, and I can leave it as variation number 1, but you can change it to something more specific if you want. But basically now I have like another sound ready to go, and if I want to go back to the default one, I can just easily press like this play button or this like triangle, and now I'm back into the default preset basically. So this saves a bunch of time, because sometimes in previous versions of Ableton you had to be like moving knobs around, and maybe you didn't remember how it was exactly at the beginning, and you may like not get to the original sound that you wanted. So having like these snapshots is like game changer, honestly. Let's keep going. Let's just keep hitting the randomization button and let's see what we come up with. I'm gonna mess up with this manually. I like that one a lot. Let me save it. Variation number 2. Let's keep going. That could be like a nice intro synth or something. I don't know, but that's cool. Let me save it. So you get the point. You can keep going with this and do like limitless variations, and you know, just keep going. Or as I said, you can manually start like messing with this. and just save them. And now we have like some good variations in here. And now what you can do is just go ahead and save this somewhere. You can just hit the little save button in here and just put like, I don't know, erosion wub or whatever. And now you have this ready to go for any new projects. Whenever you want to use the rack, you can go ahead and just look for it, drop it, and obviously you have all the snapshots in here. So that's awesome. You can keep adding variations and save it again with the new variations. So that's definitely something that has helped me a lot for my workflow. And actually I'm going to show you another thing that I use like on daily basis, and is that I take this concept and I put it into my sub bass. This is a little bit more complicated because we have also chains going on, sub chain, low mids chain, and top end distortion. But basically the main principle is the same. I mapped some knobs, and then I started for this one. I was a little bit more meticulous, so I didn't go with the randomization. I knew what I wanted from the subs, so I went and manually started like adjusting the parameters and adding the new variations. But basically now every time that I have a new project, I have like this sub rack ready to go, and I have like multiple subs in here that I like. So for example, let me put the EQ really big in here so you can see better what the sub looks like. So if I want just the sub bass, I have like a snapshot for that, which is just the sine wave, a little bit of distortion but not much. Then if I want the second harmonic in there, I have a snapshot for that. Then I have sub and low mids, full sub with the second harmonic and low mids, and then I have like some distorted subs. So I'm not gonna explain all of this in this tutorial because it's not the main purpose. I just wanted to do an example of how I use this every time that I have a new project, because before I had like the sub bass in there, but I didn't have like the low mids and the top distortion ready to go. So I had to create these layers every time and start like leveling things up and EQing and all that. So right now that I have this rack and this snapshots, I can really quick get like the sub bass and the harmonics that I want. So, you know, just to give you like a little bit of inspiration of what you can do with this. So I think that's pretty much it for this one. This is a bit of a short one, but I think it's really useful, and not many people know about like the snapshots features or don't know how to take advantage of them. So this is definitely a way that I've seen like a lot of improvement from my workflow, and I hope you liked it. And yeah, thank you very much for watching this video. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you around.